Let's talk about a premier game.
Yes.
Georgia, Alabama. The line is at 6.5. Over unders 49.5. What do we make of this game? I have lots of opinions on this, but what do we make of this game?
For the first time since like 2014, Alabama is in favorite, which scares me because even when Alabama is like quote unquote bad, people still put all their faith in them. And
Yeah.
so to see them come in like this is interesting. Also, what the hell happened in that Auburn game in the Iron
Oh,
Bowl,
dude.
right? And
Just.
as you pointed out or as you alluded to earlier, and we will talk about this in the Iowa Michigan game too. Does that hangover come into this game?
I think a little bit. I think for this game, there's a couple things. I'm surprised this spread is at 6.5. I thought it would be higher. I make this game higher. Now I said that last week against Ohio State, and oh man, was I wrong. But what talk about just the way you don't want to end a. I need to change up some things gambling wise because it's been a rough year to say the least, which is not something that over the last couple years I have performed at a nice level, a fun level. Everybody's been enjoying it. This year has been a disaster. About 50-50, literally 50-50 in college football. Rough, absolutely rough. But I didn't make I am surprised this game is so low because there's a couple things. Alabama, we talk about that Iron Bowl game, struggled with a team on their backup quarterback, a team that honestly, without a blunder from time management standpoint, should have won that game.
Should have won that game. Oh my god.
Yeah, Alabama should be looking at 2 losses. This is an Alabama team that offensive line is a mess. Georgia, that is really where this game is won, and by a lot, I think, is because the disproportional advantage that Georgia has in the trenches is exponential.
Yeah.
The Georgia defensive line and linebackers should absolutely feast in this game because Alabama's offensive line has been a mess. And this is something we've been talking about for weeks now. We've been talking about this since the Florida game. When we went into Florida and I said, watch this offensive line because this isn't the best defensive line they're going to play all season, but this is going to give us a test in how they play. And they didn't play great. And then it's progressively gotten worse. Now, some of that's due to injuries, but it's just not very good. And then you look on the defensive side, this is a defense that can get got in the secondary. And you're going against a quarterback in Stetson Bennett that is second in the country in, I think, yards per attempt, second in the country in adjusted yards per attempt. This is a team, it's on Georgia just not to be Georgia. And what I mean by that, it's on Georgia not to have Bubble Boy Smart come out and play super conservative. They need to come out with the same mentality they've been coming out, which is our dudes are better than your dudes on defense, and we're just going to beat you over the head with it. And then on offense, take some chances, take some risks, don't get ultra conservative, and you should win this game, I think, handedly, to be quite honest.
Yeah. The only way for Alabama to win is to attack Georgia where they're a little weak. And when I'm saying they're a little weak, I mean, it's minute because they're actually pretty strong here. And that's through the air, attack Georgia's secondary. And again, their cornerbacks aren't bad. They're just not as good as the offensive line.
Their defensive line is insane, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, their defensive line, yeah. So it's like, pick your poison, but you're not going to beat Georgia on the ground.
Secondly, two elite units. Now, there are some questions to your point. What offenses have you played that really pushed you? You got Tennessee in there that played really well. The secondary played really well against them. But, yeah, the strength of schedule is passing offenses have been great to test that secondary. But, yeah, I mean, 2 elite units. Pick your poison, like you said.
Yeah. The other thing is Alabama's running back room has been decimated by injuries, too. So you don't really even have that option, at least not in my book, about beating Georgia on the ground. Also, you should never even try to beat Georgia on the ground, but we've seen Nick Saban do crazy things before. Now, I will say the poison for Georgia here is similar to what happened to them in the, 2014 or 2015 playoff when they were up 2017, I'm sorry. Do not take your foot off the gas. Ever. Yeah. Ever. Because Nick Saban, time and time again, he has shown he will pull out something kind of like Tom Izzo, where for these games, there's a different playbook that comes out, regardless of who's on the field. these plays will come out, and he will, show you why he is the marquee coach in college football. But I'm saying all that to say, I don't think Alabama has a chance here.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I think Bryce Young is going to be running for his life. And he's made some great plays by extending the ball. I think that the Alabama offensive weapons, Menchie's really good, obviously, but the deep threat got banged up last week and was out. Or not out, sorry, he didn't get banged up. Got a targeting call. The wide receiving core isn't exactly what it's been in years past. It's still good. Every school in the nation would pretty much, outside of Ohio State, probably trade for it, but it's not what it used to be. I think we're trying to make more of this. This is don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. If somehow Alabama covers this number, I'll be happy with having a Georgia ticket in that case. I do not want to be holding that Alabama ticket and them just get ragdolled like I think they're going to. So
yeah. I don't know. There's definitely a potential for Alabama to get blown out here, but there's definitely a potential just because of the nature of the game.
Yeah, and the historic nature of Kirby Smart to just be super conservative in places he shouldn't be, and that's really the concern. If he gets super conservative, then we're gonna have ourselves a ball game. But if they just go out and they're just like, we're the better team. Todd Monken's allowed to do his thing on offense, which I think he's been holding some things back. He's allowed to do his thing offensively. You just let him run the show. And defensively, you just line up. We got the better dudes. We're going to beat you with that and our speed, and you just go.
Because they did have that crazy Kentucky game.
Yeah. Where they backdoor cover. Don't even get me started on that.
I could have won so much money.
Mm-hmm. So, don't overthink it. I'm taking Georgia.
Yeah, take Georgia.
All right. Houston, Cincinnati.